Hi, I'm Cash. I'm 23 years old.
What do you think people's first impression of you is?
That's a tough one. I'm either really hit or miss. Um, they either see me as this like vibrant light source or they see me as extra too much, which can be a good or bad thing.
So, what do you mean by extra?
Extra as in like I don't know, too flamboyant, too out there, too just too much, not the norm.
Where are you from?
From New Orleans, Louisiana.
How'd you get to California?
I dropped out of school and I no longer wanted to go to school for acting. I wanted to pursue a career in fashion.
So, is that what you're doing out here in Cali?
Yes.
So, tell us about that.
Um, so I was attending the University of South Alabama and I was in my acting 2 class and my professor started the warm-ups and we were tossing around this ball and the ball came to me and it like hit the floor and I kind of, being dramatic, I was like, oh, and he stopped the whole exercise and was like, you do too much. If I were on stage with you, I would crush you. And that kind of like in turn like made me take a look at myself and think maybe I am too much. Maybe I should calm down. And like my grades started to like reflect me reflecting myself. And so I was really always have been into fashion and I was like I'm too distracted by this. I need to, I don't know, see if there's a career path within this and try to pursue that seriously because if I'm at a loss at what I love doing, which is acting, then I need to stop doing it. So I started doing all this research and I found out that, you could be a stylist, you could, be an editor in fashion. And that's when I started looking at a way out.
Did you have family in California?
Not at all. I knew a girl that was a model. She is a model. And I was kind of like doing her PR and like submitting for um, auditions and sending like all types of emails and like finishing her comp cards, like comprising like all of her photos and like making it look more presentable to the industry standards. And she was getting booked for jobs, and then she was like, you know what? You do all the work anyways. You might as well just come live with me, and we'll make it work until you get on your feet. So I knew a guy who was going to film school in Ventura, and she was in Dubai on a gig that we booked. So I was like, yo, like I'm coming to California. I kind of need somewhere to stay until my client gets back or whatever. He was like, cool. So that worked out. She got back from Dubai, and then maybe like 3 weeks later, she decided that she wanted to finish her degree. And at this time, I already made my mind up that there's no way possible that I'm going back home because one, I felt like I would feel like a failure. Two, I know that this is the place that I want to be. God led me here, and I'm just gonna stick it out. So I've been out here for about 2.5 years now, and the road to going to fashion school hasn't been easy, but like I can't be more appreciative of my journey. I can't thank God enough for this journey because I've learned so many lessons along the way, and it's just phenomenal to see like my personal growth.
So, tell me about what you mean by the journey and how you feel you've grown.
I was really immature. Um, I was very arrogant and not humble, and like God took me on this journey where I had to first humble myself because you never know who you can meet out here in California. Like you can go into a Starbucks and walk into an executive, and like if I have this complex of someone looking at me and staring at me, and I'm like, what are you looking at? Like that could you know make me look bad in front of an executive who I don't even know is an executive. So I had to one change that attitude and become more um, approachable, I guess. And part of it is a defense mechanism because I'm not from around here, so I have to put up this wall, you know, so I won't be like taken advantage of or anything like that. So uh, I guess breaking down that was really huge. Um, another part of the journey was realizing like how much hard work it takes and like resilience. I tell myself like you can't you can't spell resilience without an L. And sometimes you have to take some L's, no matter how big, no matter how small. Like, don't look at them as losses, look at them as lessons.
That's a really good way to look at it.
Yeah.
I like the instead of losses, lessons.
Hmm.
I think we could all learn from that.
Yeah.
Ooh, you just taught me something. I feel better about my day. So tell me what Cash's next steps are.
My next steps are now that I'm officially eligible for my scholarship through the Army, I am going to go to school and just become like a powerhouse. I've been creating nonstop, whether it's a series of shorts during the summer, whether it's a photo series, no matter what. I've been keeping my creativity just on point and on beam. Just because you have to always be ready. You never know like when the next opportunity is gonna come, and if God presents an opportunity and you're not ready, then you never know when the next one will be.
So did you just say that you have a scholarship opportunity through Army? Were you in the military?
I am.
You are currently.
Yes. Yes.
How does that go?
Well, it started as a means to like pay for school because once again, I'm out here in California alone. My grandmother was like, "It's not my decision for you to move to California, so you're just gonna have to get it." And so I was doing all sorts of research on what I could do, and the Army seemed really promising, but I knew that I didn't want to go away. So I devised a plan to kind of like stay in California. So I joined the National Guard. So that allows me to fulfill being in the Army and staying in California at the same time.
That's a pretty. So I'm assuming you did a lot of research to figure
Yeah,
out how
I
to
did
make that happen for yourself.
a lot of research, but you have to do more research because being that I took the National Guard route, it's more complicated when you're trying to go to school. So I've officially been in 2 years now, which makes me eligible for the scholarship that will give me 100% tuition.
Means to an end.
Yep.
So how long do you have to stay in the National Guard?
I signed a 6-year contract.
So you're a third of the way there.
Yeah.
And how long is school?
School is 4 years.
You timed that right, didn't you?
Perfectly.
And where is your school?
It's in downtown LA.
Now, you said you always wanted to do fashion.
Always.
Was acting your first choice, or was fashion always like the underbelly?
Acting was my first choice. Is in a way still my first choice because I feel like once you're in the entertainment industry, once you have a name, you can navigate and go through various channels, and being in the industry opens up many doors. So I want to start by doing fashion, being known as the fashion guy, and then eventually like branch off into like hosting, kind of like Andy Cohen, like that type of thing. Like,
So I'm going to just go back to the story that you told about the acting class it was in New Orleans.
no, it was in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay, so you're going to school in Mobile and you were taking an acting class. One interaction and the way that that person treated you in a single experience changed your whole trajectory.
I wouldn't say that single experience changed it, but I would say that's a key factor because like growing up with my 5 siblings and like being the really dramatic one, like I was always told, you know, I'm extra. Moving to a really small town after Hurricane Katrina, I was always told that I'm extra. But it wasn't until like I'm actually doing performance art again, and my acting professor, someone who is supposed to encourage me and build me and, you know, guide me, for him to be so negative in his critique, and it wasn't coming from like constructive criticism. It was, I'm gonna tear you down, because I don't know if it was he's intimidated by the power that I possess, or if it's actually like the truth. But that made me like internalize everything that, you know, everyone was saying, and kind of made me readjust.
You mentioned Hurricane Katrina. Did you live in New Orleans during Katrina?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Oh my God. It was a really life-changing experience, because before Katrina, I was really involved with like performance art. Really, really involved with performance art. Like my grandmother had me enrolling into the School of Performing Arts in New Orleans. It's called NOCA. And like I was getting my auditions ready and all of that was in the works, and then boom, Hurricane Katrina rocks my world, tosses it upside down. And once again, it was kind of a lesson of being humble, because before then, like, I was like worse than you could ever imagine. I was spoiled, I was arrogant, I was inconsiderate of others' feelings, and I think it really like taught me a lesson to like, you know, chill out and not be so self-centered, because I think I really was back then.
Well, I think when something big like that happens, you realize that your whole world can be taken away in literally a breeze.
Yeah.
Well, so tell me one thing that would surprise people to know about Cash.
I don't know. Most people don't know that I'm actually like, I don't know, that I'm actually afraid. Like, I'm really afraid to fail. Like, they see me as confident and bold and just out there, but I think that is to overcome the fear of failing.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Is Cash your real name?
It will be.
So what made you choose that name?
Law of attraction. Honestly, I want to make a whole lot of cash this year. I want to, like, you know, the goal is to be wealthy. Who doesn't want to be wealthy? So, like, law of attraction. You see it, you claim it, you call it, you hear it, it's yours.
Put it into the universe, it will come to you.
Right.
If there's one thing that you would want people to know as you walk by them, anything at all about you, what would you want them to know about Cash?
That I'm a star.
I like it. Well, thank you so much for meeting me today.